4, 3, 2, 1. I should take my hand out my shirt. Hey there. How you guys doing? We're doing our
Pretty good.
Friday Focus Forum. We do have to come up with a better name, especially when we move it to Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday. Because, you know, Black Friday is taken. And it's almost that time. So we'll come up with another name. So today, what we said we were going to start doing with these forums is come up with like a theme that we can vamp on first, just so we can have something to chew on, and then we'll go into whatever questions and answers or discussions, wherever the story takes us. So I had this saying that I found from FDR, so I was told. It's a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Have you heard that one before?
I have.
No.
Yes.
No, you haven't heard. Yeah, right. So how do we apply that to business? I was thinking that, you know, I forgot, a friend of mine told me this when I was going through some tough times. And he said, you know, this is what builds character. This is what makes you strong. If you're a sailor, if you're a ship captain and the water is calm and there's nothing happening, not even a breeze, oh man, being a captain is easy. Right? You just got to hold the wheel. But when the winds come and the storms come, that's when you gain your skill. So when it comes to business, you know, some people start business and they get a sale the first day and they think, oh, we just rocking, right? But what happens when cash flow comes? We got somebody joining, Mr. McCoy. When cash flow happens, things of that nature, what do we do? How do we handle it? That's what makes us a skilled business owner. Mr. McCoy, welcome, welcome. I've known Mark McCoy now actually for like over 30 years, I think, right?
What?
Yeah, like, yeah, I met him as a teenager.
Wow.
Now he's and he tormented me then too, you know. He tormented me then too, but he never abandoned me. I almost killed him one time in the car. I don't know if you ever remember that. Driving on Bradhurst Avenue, me driving down the middle of the street at like 80 miles an hour. But anyway, it's another story. McCoy, Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business since you're joining the group for the first time.
The major thing that I'm trying to establish now is I've been a fitness professional for about 10 years, and I noticed that there was a need, a gap in the senior industry. I mean, there are a lot of senior workout DVDs, but seniors don't get that personalized attention and touch that they need. The workouts are the same, basic chair workouts. The workouts don't really build any strength, any real functional capabilities. So since the world is cluttered with everybody showing their six packs, everybody showing their butts on Instagram, I decided to go the other way and tap into that market. So it's called the Senior Strength Project. And when I create videos, I talk as if I'm actually delivering training to the individuals, knowledge, solid foundational information, and actionable information. Not so much, okay, sit in the chair and do this and do that. That's not really teaching. So my whole purpose is to build a brand that stands out through the crowd, which is senior training, not senior fitness. There's a difference. And then separate from that, but before I even started that, since I was 19 to 20, I've been a professional photographer. So my two loves are fitness and photography. So once I moved here in 08, I'm in North Carolina. In 08, that's when the economy tanked and people wanted to pay me like $5 to shoot a wedding. So I had to do a shift. And so I was like, well, the only other thing that I love is fitness. Because once I left New York, I said I would only do work that I enjoy doing. I want to feel like, you know how they say, if you do what you love, you don't work. So I wanted to make sure I did something that I love. So those are my two things.
Cool. Let me ask you one quick question. What age do you consider a senior?
Like retirement age, 55, 60. I mean, hey, some people are seniors and they're 35. So it just depends on the individual. But numerically speaking, I'm just talking about people who are phasing out of work and kind of getting into that slowed down period of life. I just want to make sure that that group of people, because they're living longer, are able to have a better quality of life and enjoyment, and not just be bystanders and observers, but be able to participate in life with their relatives while they're still here.
Cool, cool. I asked you that because a couple of your videos I've been trying to do them myself, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a senior now. I don't know. But anyway, so we were just chatting, Mark. What we try to do with this is our third Friday that we've done this, and what we're trying to do is make it a little bit thematic, just so we can have something to like vibe on. So we have a theme, and then we talk about the theme. So the theme that we have today, and I posted it in our group earlier, was a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. And kind of like, how does that apply to business, right? So I just went on my little vibe about how, it's all easy to to drive a boat when ain't nothing happening and you're in the middle of, the ocean and it's perfect. But what happens when the storm hits? And it's like right now, for a lot of business owners, the storm is hit, right? And how are we going to be able to survive this? It's going to require skill on the part of an owner. So that's kind of what I was vamping on as far as that's concerned. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Feel free to jump in.
Well, one of the things for me personally that I've come to realize a lot too late, but I realize it nonetheless, is not enough to have a skill. Nowadays, it's all about being a good marketer. The better marketers are the ones making all the money. The ones who are able to get their message across, make it resonate, connect, even if they're not that great at it. If they can market it better than you and they can connect better than you, you might be the best. They're going to get the business over you every time. So now when you look at this COVID thing, stack that on top. How do you maneuver and market and connect to people who are worried about if they can breathe safely when they go in and out? So it's something that I've definitely been thinking about and focusing on a lot. And I think that's something that we all need to think about and focus on. Not just our skill set, but marketing our skill set.
Yeah. When we start a business, we all have a specific skill. We say, hey man, I can make money off of this. That has nothing to do with business itself. And that's the first mistake that people make. They think, okay, well, I got this skill. I've been working for this guy for 20 years. He's making all this money. I can do that. But there's all these other things that, man, if we don't get it right, marketing is a huge one. I had learned a long time ago that I don't want to be the best kept secret. Oh man, you're so cool, but nobody knows about you. That's just a waste. You have to get the message out. And so you have to invest in certain things. Especially as a business owner, marketing is one. Getting to know people. So Courtney is not a business owner per se yet. He's more of a real estate investor. But is it important for him to get to know people? Obviously, right? So marketing is going to be different for you in that you might not be selling a wares, right? Or selling a product. You're selling yourself. Why should I invest my money with you, right? And so marketing, it takes so many different terms, but that is a skill that we definitely need to have. Yeah. Anybody else with thoughts on that? The skilled sailor thought? How are you managing in this economy? What are you doing?
Well, I think this economy it's in a lot of ways, it's the perfect breeding ground. I mean, it gives you the time to really step back. I think in other ways where you might not, if you were kind of busy just in the everyday business, to step back and take a look at how you're running your business. Is this the most efficient way? It's almost like you're auditing yourself, maybe not financially, but in just the quality of how you're doing your business. So like one of the things we've been talking about, Mark, is decreasing my cost of investing. So even now, like at this point, the business has about $160,000 out right now in debt. And we were just talking about, okay, one of them is a loan. Can we change that out to a line of credit instead? This would significantly just decrease my cost of doing business. And that's where I've been putting a lot more of my focus on just changing my business plan and how I go about it so that the longevity is kind of built into it.
Nice. It's interesting because on Facebook, and I'm on it a lot more now than ever before because I kind of think that this is a place to market. I see a lot of people out there saying, if you don't get a new skill now, you're not going to make it. You need a new skill or diversify your portfolio. And I think to myself, All them people who saying that are not business owners.
Mhm.
A new skill is cute, but if you have a business, what you just said, Courtney, is what matters more. Figure out how to redefine your business. You know, everybody's talking about multiple streams of income. I got 14 different ways to make money. That means you're making no money. Right? You build one business the right way, you make as much money as you need to make. And I'm going to just throw big names out there because that's who, Bill Gates, one company. You know, can you imagine when Bill Gates started Microsoft, he started selling a few computers. He said, oh, and now I'm going to do a little bit of Bitcoin, and I'm going to do a little bit of this. No, you focus on one company and you blow it up. You don't need 14 streams of revenue if you got one. Now, granted, this is unique times, right? This is unique times. So you might be in a business and it might hit a wall. Okay. But believe me, 14 little businesses are not going to make it necessarily. I was thinking, Mark, about you at one point because I know you're doing the strength training. And there was something that came on television about how gyms are managing in this economy, right, with this new thing. Now we can't go out. And one guy had this brilliant approach. And instead of just, because the gym had to close, he leased out all of his equipment and to his current to his current clients. And then he started doing something like what you're doing, Mark, with the video training. So now his current clients aren't saying, oh, I'm going to stop my membership. They got a machine there and they got that's a business owner, right? He is a skillful business because he didn't just say, well, man, I might start needing to invest, or maybe I'll move it to this. I'll move it. No. He stayed focused on his business and he made an adjustment, and that's what makes you skillful. Anybody else have any thoughts on that skillful?
Yeah, to your point, I agree 150% about not having 14 streams of income and how you want to blow up one thing. But within that one thing, though, I feel you need to have 14 streams of income within that business. And what I mean by that is, they just say, like you do the tax preparation, right? You don't want to have 75% of your revenue from your tax preparation come from one client. Because if that one client leaves you, now you're screwed because you can't do it on the other 25%. So your money that you're getting should be coming from a lot of places within that structure of that one business. Just like I had to step back and look at mine because I have like 3 clients that make up in-gym clients that make up the bulk of my monthly revenue. And I said, wait a minute. I said, if these 3 clients decide to take a 6-month hiatus or travel around the world, I'm screwed. I mean, I have a few other people, but they're really big ticket clients. So I was like, I'm comfortable. But if they break their leg or sick relative, the gym is a luxury. You know what I mean? And if that stops, that's 75% of my revenue with 3 people. So I had to start getting more clients to make up for that differential. So you want to have that blow up in that one company, but within that company, you want to have several streams of revenue from within that skill set is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
That's exactly right. I look at it like right now, I started out doing taxes. Taxes are great. I mean, I hate them, but they're great, right? You're chugging hard. You get through January through April, and it's like, now what, right? When the season ends. So I added bookkeeping, right? And I said, okay, now you got this monthly revenue, right? And I said, that's really cool. But then I was like, but bookkeeping, I mean, and it's a good skill, and I make money off of it. I was like, but there's more that I can do as you start to accumulate knowledge. Business advisory. Now that fits me like a glove because I love talking about business, right? And I can help business owners. I've been in business for almost 20 years now. I can talk to you about the ins and the outs. I can help you come up with a plan. So add that. So you're right. So in your, I'm going to go to financials because that's my life. In your P&L statement, what I do on the income line, I don't just have a line that says sales. I have a line that breaks out taxes, a line that breaks out bookkeeping, a line that breaks out advisory. Because if you do it just like that, over time, you can see your business evolving through the numbers as well. And you can say, man, this line of revenue, whether it's tax or whatever, I'm using me because that's what I don't know, whether it's tax or bookkeeping, man, bookkeeping is lagging. I'm going to phase that out and bring something else in, right? So absolutely, in your business, under your umbrella, you want to understand your lines of revenue. And that's what skill is all about, right? That's being skillful, because there's going to be a time, perhaps, when something changes. And when it changes, you've got to be able to say, okay, well, that line is not kicking. I'm going to move to this line right now, right? And then diversify your portfolio that way. So absolutely, I think that's critical to success. Any other thoughts?
So like for example, like what I'm doing. All right, I have seen like I came on late because I was training some seniors on Zoom. So what I'm doing, I don't want to just be training all the time. I'm creating 2 to 3 programs that I can just have for sale. That I have training, I have programs that are selling. So now I have an opportunity to make money when I'm asleep, because my ultimate goal is I want to free up more time. So I want to focus more on group sessions, train more people at one time, and then have packages for sale, and then maybe do some speaking seminars here and there, to the senior population. Like I get a lot of questions about, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and how to do those types of things. So I stay abreast on that, whatever's current. So that'd be another stream of revenue. I could say maybe do a talk for free, and if you missed it, now it's $9.99. And it's right here. Here's the link and whatnot. So just always trying to figure out what I can do to have some money starting to work for me when I'm not awake. That's the next step.
There you go. Good. Nice. Real smart. That's called working on your business, not working in your business. And it's a big difference. If you're working in your business, you might end up just being an employee, but working on your business makes you an owner. So that's cool. Nicole, you look like you're thinking about something deep.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that, we can't always be all things to all people. And if we try, we end up being nothing to no one.
True.
We just can't. We got to try to focus. We're always saying that we always have to be niche down. But within that niche, I think we also have to have like maybe one skill set that we're really, really good at that we can offer. And then we can flow out from that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's that whole expression, jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be a jack of all trades, because
No.
they get paid less money, believe it or not. You never develop enough to be a master. Like if Mark is focused on the older people, questions of osteoporosis is not going to come up in the 20-year-old market, and so you can't just go to any trainer to learn certain things. So that's the way you want to do it.
Exactly.
Courtney is trying to be a master of something too. He's trying to be a master of Philadelphia, probably. But there's a lot of ways in which we can increase our business. So even in this crazy time, it doesn't mean that our businesses have to flag or fail. In fact, this can be a good time where you can position yourself for future success, big time. Cool. So
all the time, when I look at like fast food restaurants, like McDonald's for one, I mean, McDonald's has been there as long as we've been born, right? How many different ways has McDonald's sold us the same hamburger? Think about it. How many different ways do they sell the same hamburger? It's the same meat, the same bun, but they tell you it's different, and it's the same, and you run in there to get that new hamburger. That's the same hamburger you've been eating for years. That's the ultimate marketing mastery right there. That's crazy. Same thing with KFC. It's the same chicken, but they reshape it a different way. They pair it with this, pair it with that, the same stuff that's been on the menu for the last 30 years, but somehow you think it's new and you can't wait to run in there and get it. That's marketing mastery right there. We should take lessons from that.
Yeah. It's funny. Everybody I talk to say, "Oh, I don't eat McDonald's." They say, "I don't eat McDonald's." Man, I'll be running in that place. You remember? It's funny. Remember when they had this burger and they changed it, like you're just saying with that. It was they had a white cheese on it. It was like a special cheese they had, and they put it in a different box with a little green tab on it. Man, I was running in that. Yo, I was like, oh, and you know what I said after I ate the burger? I was like, this tastes so different. This is amazing. It's the same burger. They just changed the sauce out. Hey, but that, you know what? They have a whole team, probably a huge team of people working on their business, right? So we're smaller businesses, but if we're going to be successful, we've got to carve out time to work on the business, not just in it. If we do that, we'll have success. So that's part of being a skilled sailor. That's really cool. So we're at the half-hour mark. Does anybody have any questions that we want to vibe on or ask while we're all here and can share with one another? Any burning business questions? We should always come with something if we want to get something.
I actually have a question. And we talked about this before, but I'd kind of like to put it out there. What do you guys think about having a business coach? I definitely think that it's important, but where would you place that if you had to on like your list of priorities for your business? How important is that?
Ooh, can I answer that? Ooh. All right, man, let me tell you, I just had a recent experience with a very good friend of mine who had a business coach. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna make a long story short. She spent $3,500 for that coach to tell her basically what she already knew. Now, there's good and bad in everything, but I'm not against coaches, but I'm a big believer in self-learning. And I think that a lot of things that you would get from a business coach, if you don't find one who's exceptional, you can find in the book yourself. You could do the research and get it yourself. Like, for example, the woman, my friend wanted a new website or rebrand her website. And my friend told the coach, listen, I like using Wix. That's what I'm comfortable with. The coach wanted her to rebrand, use GoDaddy, because that's what the coach was comfortable with, using WordPress. So the coach kind of was steering my friend towards what was comfortable for her, not what was comfortable for my friend who's the client. See what I'm saying?
That's not a good coach.
Yeah. And I'm not saying they're all that way. There's good and bad and all, but I've come across so many people who have spent thousands of dollars on business coaches and haven't been satisfied. And it's kind of been like the stuff they told me, it was like stuff that I had read, seen, heard. They didn't really do anything for me that was groundbreaking. They didn't level me up. I kind of was at the same level that I was after spending $2,000, $3,000. So I would say a coach is good, but just make sure you get references. Talk to people. Like what was your results after working with this coach? Oh man, it was great. I went from here to here, then go with that coach. But if you just got somebody like, I can help you with your business.
Okay.
Can I chime in on that?
Of course.
Mark and I had a session earlier this morning, and if you guys don't know, I'm helping Mark with his marketing. And we had an absolute amazing session this morning, didn't we, Mark?
It was unbelievable.
It was awesome. And we are actually helping each other. And I think it all depends on who you connect with and how you interact with each other and how willing you are to listen to each other. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, Mark, about that.
So I'm going to jump in too, because I do coaching, right? So I'm going to put it from two different perspectives. So I do coaching, and Nicole does marketing. And we had a meeting. I mean, we had a marketing meeting today, and she told me some things that I already knew, but I never applied it properly. I just didn't realize it. So we were literally sitting down, coming up with an idea. I said, "That is so good. Let me type it." And I typed it. And when I finished typing it, she said, "Now that's your email." I was like, "Oh, shoot, I know that." But I didn't know that. You're right, Mark. A good coach, there's two sides to a good coach. A good coach is not going to tell you something you don't necessarily know. They're going to help you to apply it in the right way at the right time. right? And so one of the things I think is really critical with coaching is you got to get somebody who vibes with you, right? Not every, you might have 5 good coaches, but if you and this other good coach can't speak the same language, and it's not going to work, right? You might have a coach who's not as great as that other guy. My first coach, and I've had a few, charged me $12,000 just to sit down and talk. I was like, oh, all right. But this guy had a reputation, man. He gave me one piece of advice. It got me my $12,000 back. But that was pretty much it. So at the end, I was a little disappointed because what I asked him to do for me, he didn't do. I didn't lose my money, but he didn't get me the way I wanted to be. I then got to another coach. He charged me 1/10 of what that guy charged me. And he spent about 20 times more, 20 more. The first guy was 2 hours. This guy was 20 hours. He spent so much time with me. He actually helped me to realize how I can be a coach. But he didn't get me where I wanted to be. I paid a lot less money, but he did set me up. And every coach has different strengths and different weaknesses. So one thing that I will tell you is find out what you want and then pick the coach that's going to help you get what you want. And that's the key, right? If you say, I want to increase sales, find a coach that's going to help you increase sales. If you say, my business it's got all kinds of holes in it, find a coach that's going to help you fix the holes. It might not be the same person. It might be, it might not be. And then and then try it that way. I think that's the difference between a good coach and a great coach. A great coach is going to adapt. He's going to find out what you want. And then he's going to help you get that. Or he's going to say, hey, you know what? I can't help you with that. That's not my wheelhouse, But if I can help you, then I'm going to help you. And then your job is to make sure that it all fits and that you agree with their mindset, their vibe, and then make sure that you're getting those metrics. And a lot of what you're going to learn is what you already know, but how you apply it and when to do it. Or someone to say, hey, you know what? You know about this. Like Nicole was telling me about the email thing we talked about. I was like, yeah, this is cool. So now I'm gonna get this email, and I'm gonna put it in my Outlook, and then I'm gonna put it in, send it to my clients. And she's like, you didn't put your stuff in Active Campaign yet, which is an email program. I'm like, no, I didn't even think about that. She's like, Mark, really? I'm like, well, these are I didn't think about it. This is what her specialty is. And so those are the things that will change the way you do business. My last coach, I spent even more money, but they changed my entire mindset. And so you got to find people that's going to vibe with you, that you can resonate with, but that's going to accomplish what you want accomplished. It's also up to you to value from a coach. You go to a coach and you say, it's like if I went to Mark and I said, hey, Mark, I want to get a 6-pack. If that's not what he's doing, it's not what he's doing. Or if I want a 6-pack and then he and I are talking and he's telling me about increasing my endurance. And he's helping me increase my endurance. And at the end of a year, he's like, yo, so how do you feel about endurance? I'm like, yo, I got amazing endurance, but I'm kind of pissed because I don't have a 6-pack. I didn't tell him what I wanted. So he was training. It's all of that. All of that's involved, man. All of that's involved. So
Mark, let me ask you, out of all those coaches that you picked, how did you go about finding and what made you choose them when you did?
That's a good question. So I'm gonna be honest with you. The first coach that I picked, I had a lot of different groups that as an accountant, we get in all kinds of groups. It's like Nerd Fest. And this guy's name kept coming up. It just kept coming. Same name. This guy talked about this guy, about 40 different names before I ever met him. So when I met this guy, I said, you know what? I said, I know you're gonna try and sell me something, but I ain't gonna buy nothing. But he was so effective with what he taught me that first day. And I said, well, if this guy knows him, and I've been listening to this guy for 2 years, and this guy, I'm going with it. So I joined his elite program. Then I realized sometimes when you get too big, you ain't got no time for nobody. His sessions were like, yo, so you get a time slot every other Thursday, 1 to 1:30. Okay? Said, and if you missed the call, you call me. You call me. And if you missed the call, that's no problem. It's over. You got another 2 weeks. It was like, this dude was like this serious. So I thought he was going to really transform my business. It didn't do well. The second coach was a little different. I met him through a webinar, a training. That's how we find most people. You establish that credibility. We had a one-on-one. There was no pressure. He just chatted. We just vibed. He asked me what I wanted, what I needed. It sounded like the right thing. I liked his approach. And I said, man, this is worth it. He wasn't crazy expensive, but he took the time and he was invested in me. I could tell he wanted me to be successful. So much so that I said, you know what? Hey, take my money. At the end of the coaching session, he got me what I wanted. But then I said to him, hey, I want to just keep working with you. He had a program. It was a smaller program. He's like, well, if you want to keep working, we can keep working. To this day, if that dude calls me, I'm picking up the phone and we just rapping. And he still gives me advice, even though he's not coaching. And the third one was, again, I met them through a webinar training. And they were really focused on how to, they resonate with what I wanted. I'm trying to convert my business, not convert it, but, redefine my business to get more into business coaching and business advisory. And they focused on that and how to make that a reality. And so I've been advising businesses for a lot of years, but I didn't have like a nice systematic, like you said, there's so many people who do this stuff, right? So I'd be giving people things bit and pieces, but not really helping them to put it all together. And so they kind of helped me find those tools to put it all together. Yeah. So it's about, they gave me what I wanted at the time. Some of them didn't come through all the way, but I never lost money because I'm too cheap for that. Y'all know that.
So the first guy was a half an hour every other week. What was your schedule and amount of time with the other two coaches?
The other coach, the second coach, and I mean, this is years, so you can't quote me specifically, but the second coach I don't remember if it was weekly or bi-weekly, but this guy, and this is what I loved about him. If we got on the phone at 2, we got off the phone when I was like, hey man, I think I've had enough. He just gave me time. I mean, I remember one time I had to go to the bathroom so bad I almost peed my pants. But everything he was saying was so good, He was so good. I was standing there I was like this. I really was like this. I was like, oh no. It was just we were just vibing, and he did that for me every single time. And if I had a question for him, and I said, hey, how does this dot? I remember I had wrote my first ebook with him. Right, I've written articles, but I wrote an ebook, and I spent time on that joint. And I showed it to Claudia, and she was like, okay, that's nice. And I mean, I spent like a week. And then I said, the guy's name is, not Chauncey, Chauncey's the mom, William. I said, hey, William, man, I wrote this ebook. I just want you to check it out. Give me your thoughts. He's like, okay, let me take it. He took it. He said, oh, yeah, I like it. He said, I like it. The content, you're a great writer. He said, I got some design ideas for you. I said, okay. He said, let me get back to you. 2 hours later, he came back with the same ebook, but designed differently. I took mine and shredded it. I was almost embarrassed, and he just took the time, and it was amazing. And I've been using his style ever since. The third group, there was a training session, like a program, and every week we got together like this in a setting, a Zoom. This is actually what gave me this kind of an idea, in a Zoom setting, and we just vibed just like we're doing now on things that pertain to the training that we had, and our challenges and our successes. We vibed just like this. And I thought that was amazing. And so every week we did that. I think he gave us, it was a 12-week program where we vibed like this. The materials are available. I still have the materials available to me for a year. And then he did off-site safe trainings and things like that. So yeah, there are different levels of training that I've had. I've run the gamut. That way, when I do my own, I know what the heck I want to do. I know exactly how I want to work and how I do work with people. Like right now with my clients, we do bi-weekly sessions for the most part. And, we come up with a plan. We kind of walk through that plan, and every other week we sort of sit down and we go through the plan together and we answer questions. But it doesn't mean like they don't never chat with me, but they just kind of, that's the scheduled time that we make sure to make things happen. Yeah. So every coach is different in that regard. I've learned that over time. There's no right or wrong way. It's just what's going to be effective. Cool. Man, Courtney, you started a hornet's nest there. Question there. And it's funny because Courtney be picking my brain all day because we also friends. He be getting me all off hours. I be sitting there sipping on my little thing in the backyard. He asked me questions. We've gotten some heavy conversations. heavy, heavy, heavy conversation. So
You ever do group coaching, group business coaching?
I have not done group business coaching. I have thought about it, but you know, as I continue to perfect my craft and what I want to do, I mean, that might be something that we do on a different level. But I really love the one-on-one. You get to really see results. And group coaching is nice. You're always going to get, I think out of these things, you're always going to get something. But you need a little one-on-one time to really, really make an impact. So group coaching is good. But I think if you're going to do coaching in that regard, you should have group, but then you should allow people to go into a higher level coaching with you and do one-on-one. Because certain people are going to have certain goals that you might not get just by group.
But what do you think about it starting the other way, where you start with the one-on-one, and then once they kind of, at that point where they kind of almost there, about there, then they go into a group at a lower tier just to continue working with you?
That is an option. I think it depends on the industry and it depends on the type of coaching you do. Like that wouldn't work for what I'm doing because I'm dealing with business owners on how to build business, right? And so it might work. It might work actually, you know, because there's a point when I think, you know, you're like fly birdie fly. You can fly now, you can fly now. But check in with us. Just check in with us. Stay in touch, you know. So yeah, that would probably work as well. It does depend on the owner though. You know, this does depend on the business owner. But I think it could work. You're right. I like it. That's what you're going to do, like one-on-one and then move to groups, or groups to one-on-one?
That's what I was thinking about as a way to retain clients. So just like at the end of a program, 12, 16-week program, the person has reached their goal and they've lost their weight or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. What I found in my 10 years is that all my clients, 90% of my clients gain it all back.
Mm-hmm. So they need a support system.
Yeah, group would be that ongoing support, you know, and accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I have an idea that you could do. You could go into that group and then you could maintain that accountability in there, and then you could do a breakoff session from that. You could have one-on-ones go in and talk to each other, and then you guys could come back as a group and then chat.
Here's an interesting thing too. I'm going to throw this at you. One of my coaches talked about, because I love group sessions because you can reach a lot of people, you can help them. So, but if you're really good at what you do, and this is a business. I mean, it is obviously we all have some humanitarian or philanthropic or mission that we want to accomplish. But you don't. He put it this way, and two of my coaches said this: there's only so much room on the bus. Mm-hmm. There's only so much room on the bus. So if you're going to give a higher level of training and a higher level of focus, you can't be doing all these other things. You know, it's nice to have it, but you might not be able to have a group and then have all these little things. You might have to say, I'm going to just deal with this type, like, you know, this higher level, and give them your very best. I will say, I think that's a big challenge, even in my industry, right? I could have a bunch of little clients, which is cool. I mean, and that's kind of what I have. But like, I can't give my coaching clients my very best during tax season because I'm so busy doing all these little things. So you got to kind of figure out what's going to fit you and your business model. It is a way to do it all, but you're going to have to continue to redefine your business model, I think.
Mark, are you talking about coaching in general or group coaching versus individual coaching?
I'm talking about blending all of it, right? So I have a group coaching class and I do individuals. Something might suffer.
Right.
Right. So I just think you want to be very clear on what you're trying to accomplish, and also realize, for lack of a better term, the size of your bus.
So like what you're saying with the high quality, that highest quality of service you want to give, just repeat what you were saying.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to give the highest quality of service, I'm going to give it to you like this with my coaches, for instance. My big, most expensive coach, I was like, you got Thursday half an hour slot, and then that's it. You know why he was gypping me? Because he had so many doggone people. It's like, yo, I got 15 slots a week. You get this, and so I didn't get that service that I wanted because he just was crowding people onto his bus, and so you lack. My second guy, we got on the phone. I had to get up. I'm like, yo, it's getting late. I'm sleepy, bro. I can't do no more. And he was okay. he gave me the highest quality of service possible. You know why? Because he charged for him what was a premium fee. So he only had to have a small level of clients. So again, when we talk about coaching, what do you want? You know, and what kind of coach do you want to be? You know, if I want to give high level service, right, then I need to charge a premium fee. I have to charge you a premium fee. But what you're going to get in return is going to be well worth it. And you're not going to feel like you got robbed. I'm going to give you everything you can handle, right? But if I'm giving this high level of service, but I've got all these other little clients here that I'm playing with, I might not be able to give you as high as I'm supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find out. That's what I mean, the room on your bus. Is it 3 high-level clients and a bunch of little ones, or 10 high-level clients and no little ones? You know, and what you said, Mark, you know, the other part is we're in this, we're good people. I think we all are good people, but we in this to make some money. I mean, I love what I do, but I need to make some money or else it's a waste of time, right? And so my whole thing is, when I say that, what's the best way for me to maximize my money? I'm going to give high-level service, and maybe I'll create a program so that, okay, if I can't really service you, this program is going to do you right. It's going to do you, but we're not going to be vibing one-on-one. When you get through that program, if you need more, here's my high level of service. Maybe you might find some intermediate tier, maybe, but that's your bus that you got to define. Your intermediate tier might still be a nice chunk of change, and you get, you know, every other week. You get a half an hour slot, or you get an hour slot in a group class, and that's what you get. And it's not that you're being a jerk. You want to help everybody, but you only got so much room on the bus. Those people who are paying you top dollar, they get, you know, when they call, you pick up. When they question you, they get your full attention. But I think that if you're trying to do something like that, it's very easy to digress and divert it with all the little ones. You know the 80-20 rule? Have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
Right? 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your clients. You know, so you want to make those 20% feel like that they love you. You know, my biggest client right now, who's on pause, is still calling me right now. Called me yesterday. Hey, I got to ask you about PPP. I got to ask you. Okay, so we talking, and he's like, you know, I've been meaning to ask. I said, yo, look, man, we on pause. We on pause. And you asked me for advisory. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to overstep. That's cool. That's cool. You know, but he's used to that level of service. That's what I want to provide.
So let me ask you, you paid $12,000 to was only giving you a half an hour. Do you feel that $12,000 you said you were able to recoup that money based on what he told you, but do you feel if he would have given you the amount of time the other guy was giving you, that would have been the money and the service would have been high level, would have been commensurate?
Yes. So put it like this. At the end of the session, right? I mean, I never forget. We did the whole 12-month thing. It was running through April. End of tax season. Day after tax season, I get a congratulatory email from him. Congratulations, you got through tax season. You the man. Here is our form to renew. I printed the form out, right? I printed it out so I could have it. And then I looked at it and I said, me off. You can tell he didn't care about me, you know, and that was the difference. Had he shown some real, like, oh, I really want to work with this dude. I really want to, I would have renewed with him. I made my money back. But like you said, you don't feel fulfilled.
Right.
So if I'm going to charge you a premium fee, and I want to charge you a premium fee, I want you to say at the end of it, man, I want to continue to work with that guy. Or even if, and I'll use my guy, William. Well, and he wasn't even a premium fee. He was kind of just starting out in the game, making his own program. But when he was done, I was like, yo, Will, I mean, I know we're done with what we said we were going to do. How can I just keep working with you? How can I just stay around you? I'll pay you money just to holler at you, just to talk. He's like, really? I said, yeah. He said, okay. He said, what do you want to do? He was like, okay. I mean, he was a real great guy. He was like, yo, I'll give you software, right? Courtney, he gave us software for free just to hang out. And every once in a while, I called him out and tried never to take advantage of his time. We just vibed. He gave me insight. When I went to this new coach, I said, hey, you know, I'm moving on. And he was fine with that. He said, yeah, I think I've done what I can do for you. I said, and I told him what I'm trying to accomplish. He said, hey, I'm going to give you some advice. And I had my pen out. I'm writing it down. And when we were done, he said, let me know how it goes. I can call him right now. He probably get on the phone and vibe with us and rock out and give you great advice. Just that kind of a coach. Well worth it. So I think that's the whole thing. I want to be known as a guy when it comes to coaching that whenever, if ever our engagement ends, they say, yo, I really did appreciate that guy. That's what you want to be, you know. But if you get too big and you got all this other, you end up with, not with a bad rep, but, you know.
As good a rep as it could be.
Yeah.
That taste in your mouth.
Yeah, like, you know, yeah, that guy was, because like I said, I want to make money, but I want everybody that I work with to make money too. So when we end up, you know, we all like, yo, we rocking out together in the club, as opposed to, yeah, that dude just took my money. I don't know if I didn't lose, but I don't feel like I won. And that's the challenge with the balance to me. Make sense?
Yeah, a lot. I got a whole lot from that just now. A whole lot. You answered a lot of questions I've been having for a long time about the coaching aspect.
Cool.
Clarified a whole lot of things just now.
Awesome. Well, that's what we're here for, so we can rock out and learn together, because you gave us a lot today too, man. You gave us a lot. Really appreciate you. I told you from the jump when I said I'm gonna do this group, I wanted you in this group because I know you for a long time. I know you got that wisdom. A little snarky. I think that's your name is Mark. We've been battling for years. Back when we had the phones where you would go like this, we ring, you dial, and I used to hang up on Mark all the time. He'd be like, yo, put Austin on. I'd be like, click. Then he'd come back, yo, what's wrong with you? Click. Yeah, we're like, but you're a brilliant dude. A brilliant dude, man. So thanks for joining us, man. Hey, I think we're going to wrap up. We're right at that hour mark. So I just wanted to say thanks for joining us. And I think this was a good session. I hope we keep rocking out and learning from one another. And hopefully we can get more. If you know other owners who want to just join, have them pop in. All right?
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, folks.
Good.
Appreciate you. Stay safe.
All right, man. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
buddy.